Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today it's a total different video, but when I'm telling you totally different, it is totally different, seriously, because today I will not be the one that will speak to you in front of the camera. It will be our friend, the member of the channel, Steve Slick. Juventino since a lot of years, living in America, in Boston, and today he wants to share his opinion. You know that on the channel I am often the one that is speaking alone, trying to find a balance between positivity, negativity, what is going well, what is going wrong, but I really wanted to have, and this season 23-24, I really want to have it even more. People from the community that are following the chat, that are listening to me, well, this time I want to listen to you. And Steve Slick did a fantastic, beautiful video of 6 minutes, so let's try to listen what he has to say with strong words about the fact that he needed, or he thought that we needed to change more, because if we wanted to change, we had to change, starting with the coach and some players. Let's see what he thinks. Maximum of comments for Steve Slicks, and I also ask you to put a maximum of like, because it's not an easy exercise. When you are not a content creator, it's easier to write your opinion, but going in front of the camera and sharing your ideas like that, it's absolutely not an easy exercise. If you want to, my friends, put also in the comments if you want to participate, of course, doing the same exercise. High quality video, important in a landscape format. And if yes, let me know, because I'm really curious to have a different opinion, another perspective on the chat. So let me know, and now I will stop speaking and we listen to Steve Slick, that once again I really want to thank for the courage and for the thoughts that he was sharing with all of us Juventini. Grazie, forza, Juve.
Ciao, ciao, Juventini. This is Steve Slick. I told Beppe I would make a video on Twitch in his chat. So this is my video to kind of break down how I see the 23-24 season trending where we are today. So a little about me. I've been a Juventus fan for a long time, well over 10 years, maybe not as long as most of you. I'm in America, I'm in Boston, that area. But really what I want to talk about is the breakdown of, what I see as an issue with Juventus. You'd hear Beppe talk about me in the chat saying, he's the guy that hates Milik or Vlahovic, and no, I don't hate anybody. I'm critical of them because Vlahovic has to be held to a higher standard because of his cost, and Milik is a player that most of us never wanted, and he's not a caliber of what we would define as Juventus. But regardless, real quick on this video, I just want to capture, why I think we may be in trouble heading into this season, but I do hope I'm wrong, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm wrong if I am wrong. First off is we kept Allegri. By keeping Allegri, we're keeping the same culture, we're keeping the same mentality, we're keeping the same identity, which is a lack thereof. We need a lot of work on the team, as we all know. That goes without saying. And the moves we've made thus far have changed nothing. The team is basically exactly the same. I understand Giuntoli just started, so that takes time. But the names in the media that I'm hearing, whether you believe it or not, have been bad. Like, they're just not players that are going to evoke confidence in us to make a change. So where I see us going is that we're not changing the culture. We didn't change the coach, so the culture stays the same. There's a lack of identity. I don't believe Allegri is the coach to create that identity and to build that team. More like a Conte, who I believe is a big reason why Allegri had a lot of success at Juventus, is because he laid that foundation. He created that team and that mentality, and then Allegri took it the next step with the tactics. Because if you remember Allegri's first stint, we did a lot of adjustments. We changed formations mid-season. He made a lot of changes that were positive to kind of help get the team to where it needed to be, to reach 2 finals, to win so many Scudetti and, Coppa Italias, etc. But where we are today, I feel like we need a change. I feel like after that season, with everything going on the field, off the field, we really needed a fresh start. And I understand because of the finances and the issues and the money owed to Allegri that it was hard. But I think it's going to be more detrimental to the team by keeping it the same and the finance and focusing so much on the finances from what we owe him to starting with a coach, whether it's a young coach, a proven coach, whatever. I feel like the team needed a change, especially the stars. And I feel like that's why you're hearing a lot of talk about Lukaku. That's why Milik is back. That's why Rabiot's back, because those are all Allegri players. Those are all players that Allegri wants to build his culture and his team with. not Chiesa specifically, not Vlahovic. I feel like that's why Allegri wants to move on, or would be willing to move on from those types of players, because he wants to build a team. Anyone that's worked in management, myself, I know Giuseppe talks on the channel a lot about working in management. You know that it's hard to build a team once the team becomes toxic, and once you have people that aren't going along with kind of how you're formulating the path for your team. So I believe Vlahovic, Chiesa, some of those players that are more spoken outward, Bonucci another one, you know, they're dispensable, which means he'd rather build a team with players that are going to push forward his vision than ones that may question it or combat it. And that's why you see a lot of the issues with those players. But I don't agree with that. I think the change should have started with Allegri. I think bringing in a Lukaku, bringing back Rabiot. I don't agree with it. I feel like for 1 year, what do we get? I understand he knows the system, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like we really need an infusion of new ideas, you know, a fresh mentality, and create an identity. Use this summertime to create an identity. You know, build on Pogba's comeback. Build on Fagioli's last year, Moretti. Build on some of the positives we have here. But I don't see Allegri doing that. I don't see Allegri as the coach that can build it and create that team. He's more of a coach that can come in with leaders, like he came from before, with Buffon, with Chiellini, with Bonucci, Barzagli, you know, Pirlo, a lot of those leaders that were already there. He can build with them, as long as they can form the team to listen and to follow his leadership. If he has to garner their leadership or work with a team without leaders, I don't see it being successful. And that's my biggest concern. This video is almost about 5 minutes, but ultimately that's what I see as the biggest issues. This team needs an identity. This team needs a character. This team needs the grit. How many times we've said that over and over again. And I don't believe we have it. Giuntoli hasn't shown me anything yet. It's still early, but you know, Zakaria, that's going to drag on forever. We can't even sell the players we have. We get so much dead weight. Piaka, who we've had for 8 years, we can't even get rid of. And it's those past mistakes from the management that have brought us here today. And it's the continued mistakes of the management, in my opinion, that are going to keep us here longer. Whereas this year we should be working towards, you know, trying to win the Scudetto, but trying to qualify for Champions League and starting to rebuild that youth and hopefully forming leaders. That may still happen. I may be wrong, but I don't see this changing because we haven't made change. And it starts with the coach. He's the one that really drills that into the players. And that's just my opinion, and that's my 2 cents. Vlahovic, you know, for as critical as I am as him, based on his cost, holding him to a higher standard, yeah, I would like to see him, but I would have liked to see him under a new coach with new ideas. I think under Allegri, it's going to be difficult, but a lot of it's on him as well too. When you cost that much as a player, you should still show your individual qualities on the pitch, regardless of how you line up. And it hasn't been there, at least last year, other than a few free kicks. Milik's Milik. He shouldn't even be on the team, but it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens, what changes come, but it's disappointing, and it's not leaving a lot of us that look at this logistically from a logical standpoint, not as a fan, to be happy with. And hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully things do change and the team aligns and conforms, but I don't see it. Ciao, ciao.